live video is starting, maybe? Possibly. I am live! Yes, we are live! We are live! At least I hope so. Let me double check my feed here. Okay. It looks like we might possibly be live. Alright, so I'm gonna go with that I am live right now. So good evening, my fellow dreamers and creatives, or if it's morning or afternoon, wherever you yourself may be. So as I've been striving to share more and more of my creative processes, if you guys read the description, I'm kind of repeating that. I've been blessed lately, as it were, to be able to share a lot more to what I've been doing. So I've been sitting here editing some of this footage from my game nights last week, and some of the art stuff and everything, and a few other art things I've been working on. So I was like, I thought maybe I would share some of that here today so you guys can see why sometimes Legacy disappears for a while or doesn't answer the phone. Or why it takes so long to get things done. And I don't. Oh, I know why I had the head. I was gonna say I don't know why I have the headphones on because there's no music playing or anything. But I need these for editing. Anyway, so that's what I was going to do tonight, and to, like I said, give you guys more insight on how I do things. For your own information, for those of you who have been curious, for those of you who asked me questions, and for those of you that were like, can you really edit stuff? Can you do this stuff for me? Yes, I can. So like family films and stuff like that, I've done stuff like that before. A couple of streams ago, I was showcasing like how I do my thumbnails for my own personal thing, how I take the time to do that. And like I said on my stream this past Sunday on YouTube, because I had a request from one of my followers who asked me to stream on YouTube for them, my art stream, and I did that this past Sunday at 3 p.m., which is that No Man's Sky piece that I advertised last week. And the first part of it, I did it on Twitch, and the second part of it, I'm doing YouTube, and I'm thinking maybe for the last part of it, I might do it here on my Facebook page. I don't know yet. I do know from the responses and what I've gauged from that, and just in general, like, you know, I've been putting up all kinds of stuff, and I tried to, it's hard, like I said on YouTube this past Sunday, to look at analytics and be able to judge how people are reacting to things, you know, because some people like it, some people don't, some people come back and watch it later. You may be watching this at a later time. So I've been trying to see with comments and stuff, like one of the reasons, the things I've been doing for this that you guys are seeing here on the screen, this is a whole bunch of clips, not really clips, but it's from two streams from 2 weeks ago and from last Friday, where I had a few people message me and said, because a couple of Fridays ago we were kind of just Puma and I were off the cuff, and I ended up showcasing a couple of my bases, and I got a lot of feedback about that, and people were like, I want to see more of this bases. So last Friday, before we started the main chaos that became, and I'll be posting that on YouTube. That was insane with all the glitching and lag. Oh man, No Man's Sky is having some problems with this update, but I know they'll get it worked out. But I took like 20 or 30 minutes showcasing a lot of my other bases. So I decided, for people who may not be on Twitch, who may not get the notifications, that okay, I'm going to edit all those two streams together for people who would enjoy it. Now, with that too in mind, I know I'm jumping around a little bit. With that in mind, I also, every time I repost something like a video or a stream or try to use it, I try to add a little bit more to it than what you got, you know, during the live. So I've taken the time, as you guys see, there's like little icons here, little effects that you'll see and everything, and I'm gonna kind of go over some of this in real time as I work on this and everything, kind of like I do on my art streams. But going back to that too, with the art streams, I noticed, like, you know, for years when I was just recording my art and everything that and I was only able to do that and not doing the stream in time. I was able to edit things out, make it shorter, and I had this whole process because let's face it, as I had a conversation today, we live in a 30-second mentality, society right now. So you just want that instant gratification. I just want this few minutes and then I'm out. So I know when I'm live streaming art or whatever that not everyone is going to care about watching through all that process. So I've been trying to come up with more and more ways and to improve my skill set and to it's like a combined, like, I want to give you content, I want to show you what I'm doing, but I also want to push myself, and I also want to try to show to potential clients or employers what I'm capable of doing. This last piece I've been working on, it's been more of an experiment, trying to get out of my comfort zone and stuff. So, but again, I've been trying to figure out ways of, excuse me for a moment. I'm trying to see, now I was told that I could look at my phone and see the comments in real time. And I'm trying to do that right now. I have no idea if this is going to work. It kind of does. There's a lag. Definitely a lag that you guys get. I noticed that too with even the test. There's this slight lag that's going on. So I may be a little bit high. So if you guys start chatting, which you are welcome to chat, welcome to make comments. I would love to hear from you. Or even to say, how you doing, Legacy? I'm out. I had somebody do that a while back. But anyway, so, and that's another reason too why I've been streaming a lot too. I'm trying, the more, it's like everything else. The more you do it, the more you take the time to learn anything, the better you get at it. So, and with all these different platforms, it's all over the place. So like, now that I've done it on Facebook and now I've done it on YouTube and Twitch, again, out of those three, Twitch is my favorite. Because instead of trying to find a chat thing or go through this whole process, I just set up my stuff in OBS and I start streaming. I just need to sign in. That's it. And it's so much simpler. And I've been talking to some other cohorts about this, and it's just like, drives me nuts that they don't have this simplified down. I'm still happy to be able to do it, as I was excited about that one request that I got on my YouTube channel, because I've had that YouTube channel for years and I've never been able to interact with people. And like I said on there, I really want to do that. I want to build a community around what I'm doing, a fan following, working with other artists, doing all these things that I've been wanting to do for years. But in the meantime, I have to learn how to do all this and everything. But going back to art, I'm putting this out there for you guys, because come this Wednesday, I will be trying something new. I will be finishing that No Man's Sky piece, but I think what I'm going to do, as I was doing it on YouTube, I'm going to take the time to just finish a lot of it up and try to give people a little bit more quicker. It's kind of the same mentality I was getting when I was doing the Let's Draw with Legacy 717, where I kept having to short it down, because I noticed if I posted a video of Let's Draw on, let's say, Facebook here, and it was longer than 7 minutes, you guys dipped. And it was the same on YouTube. It's like, it's really funny, because like different platforms give you different experiences. So I was like, okay, so you guys, like, let's first just say, if I post gaming content here on Facebook with you guys, and I took the time to post the entire stream, you guys won't care about that, and that's fine. If I post it on YouTube, I'll get some feedback and stuff there for all that. But if I give you a clip of something that I was playing or doing, or like right now with these streams showing you how I'm doing stuff, that's been more of a reaction here. So that's another thing I've been trying to judge as I bounce around from platform to platform and try to condense it down just a little bit on all that I'm doing, to try to make sure that I'm giving all my followers on those specific platforms what you guys want. But again, you need to start commenting. There's a reason why I keep pointing at the camera and say, I want to hear from you. Because I do. I really do. But again, I'll be on tangents for that for a while. It's kind of funny though. And if you guys do social media, I know some of you guys who follow me do, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, the way things go. It's great. It's a nice, interesting experience. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into this. So, and I can give you all a little bit of insight what I'm doing. For you guys that may be new, that haven't caught my streams before, when I'm showing VideoPad, that's what this is. It is a very cheap editing software that does majority of what you need, but you're not going to get too super fancy with some things. And one of the things that I have learned by using this program, I mean, it does what I need it to do. And I really do enjoy it. The last time I showed this, I think I might have been like attacked it a little bit more than I intended. But it is a pretty basic program for like 60 bucks. And if you're just getting started in editing software and stuff, and no, I am not endorsed by VideoPad, or if I ever get anything like that where I'd start doing endorsements, it will be something that I believe in. Personally, I am not just going to endorse anything. But I do want to tell you what I'm using, how I'm using it, and everything. But I've been using VideoPad for going on 7 years now. And it's been, like a lot of said, it's been a lot of trial and error. If you guys see this right here, these are little text fonts that I made that I use in a lot of my gaming videos and stuff, especially when I'm doing No Man's Sky, that I made in Photoshop. And the reason where this came from was when I first started making videos of my gameplay, not only was I not able to stream per se, but I wasn't able to have a voice. It was all clips that were recorded, 30-second clips, 60-second clips on the Xbox. And I wasn't able to really talk about things unless I was doing stuff for my computer, and my computer, that's a whole other problem. But so as a creative solution to that, when I had, because I had like what, six or seven No Man's Sky videos when it was No Man's Sky Beyond, and I was really excited and I wanted to show it, and I wanted to learn editing, and I wanted to mess around with my programs. So my creative solution was to take the time, and I'll find a shot here where the character is kind of talking to himself, breaking the fourth wall. I know I just passed a whole bunch of them, but I'm trying to find something that's a little bit clearer. I'm about to zoom in. So as you see, this is a long thing. It's been like an hour. So I was doing stuff like this, where the character is talking in a sense, like the old comic book, a comic book font type thing, where the comic book character. And I thought that was a pretty cool creative solution for not having a voice. I knew not a lot of people would watch it because they were so used to people streaming in real time and everything. But I have continued that theme even with you seeing me on the camera now, because I wanted to keep that pace, because this is how I wanted to do it originally. So something that I did in the past, which was forced on me because of necessity, is still something I can use today, and keeping with that theme. And that's not how I wanted to start, but it's kind of nice too. Plus it gives the character its own kind of life, like he's breaking the fourth wall, kind of like Deadpool breaking the fourth wall in comics and stuff, where he's identifying that where he's in. So I've been sneaking a lot of stuff that in and everything. Like I'll show you guys a clip on that where I was trying to have the character talk and poking fun at myself. So let's go to that, and it shouldn't be loud because I fixed it. And this looks like the power station where I had everything rigged. And I know this is not a real antimatter, it just looked cool because I didn't want to build one of those again, because I didn't have the materials at the time, because some of that stuff takes a lot of materials. You gotta use it for other stuff. So this one built into the mountain, which I kind of like, as you guys see. So it kind of goes underground, and it's kind of a little bit difficult to navigate sometimes. And of course you got your little vegetation area, where the little gardening and stuff. And if we had the guys, I got some of them, but I really don't want to take them off. I'm afraid to have to some on back. And this all has solar plants because, of course, it's a hot planet. So I tried to have plants like the last base I didn't show, but if you go into the glass dome, because lately when you go up the ladder, you seem to appear. So I'm sitting there rambling, and I know I ramble, as I have done at the beginning of this video. So I'm sitting there rambling on, and I'm mentioning the characters, which is the little NPCs that you put into those little stations. And I'm thinking of the character in my head, the one we're seeing of my character playing, go, why can't you use me then? Like, why is he... That's what I mean by, like, trying to break the fourth wall. Now, I may go back and change some of this dialogue and stuff, but this is also one of the editing processes which, if you've never done this kind of stuff, it's the hardest thing, I think, to do sometimes is go back and listen to your footage over and over and over and over again until you're just like, I'm so tired. And now that I hear my voice, I get even more like, I'm so tired of hearing myself. Which some of you might be surprised by that. But that's the kind of stuff I was trying to do. Also to try to break up that rambleness where I'm describing stuff. And hopefully too, if I have a viewer, so that is 40 minutes into this hour and 20-minute long video. So I'm trying to also keep your attention. So have the little things pop up to go, oh, what's that? Or to wake you up, you know, if I am being too drug and long gone, because not everyone is going to care about these bases and stuff. So instead of just giving you like, here's me talking, blah, 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 isn't it wonderful? Try to give you more for your buck, you know, try to add to that. And that kind of stuff takes time. A lot of time if you were doing it. Now I could have just taken all these clips, all these streams and stuff, and just put it up there. But again, as an artist and as someone, you know, I want to take that little extra time to give back to my viewer who is watching this, to try to give them something for their time, because time is valuable. And if you're going to waste an hour watching me talk about my bases and stuff, then I want to give you something for that, to make it interesting, to make it worth your time. So one of the other things that I've been trying to do, like I said, I had a lot of these where I was trying to have the character like right here where it starts glitching out. I'll wait a second. Yep, you just go right here, have a seat. Enjoy the view that when it isn't glitching out. God bless. Stop. So again, this was being streamed live, and I was I was trying to get the character to get up because I know all that shaking would bother me. Well, one of the things I noticed when I had the wah going on was it also allowed my eyes to focus on that text instead of the shaking. So my viewer hopefully will see more of that text and won't be so distraughted about all that shaking. And I can't cut that out per se because it kind of messes up the flow of what I was just discussing about everything. Excuse me. So one of the other things I was doing later on, and like I said, these you can see right here, this is the cut from the very first stream. And originally, when we do No Man's Sky, Puma and I, on Fridays, we've gotten in this habit, or at least I have, I've gotten this habit when it's close to time to cut it, you know, to exit out for the evening. We've been fishing in the game, and it's becoming like a tradition. We were talking about that in the last stream. And I was like, oh, okay, so, you know, I might come up with a theme to keep doing that. So in case I have a viewer, though, that's watching, who's used to me exiting out now with the fishing, one of the things I did here to kind of keep them going during this cut, you play it a little bit. I mean, it's not technically storming, even though it's always raining most of the time here. It never dries out. But you know, when the storms are really periodic, you know, pretty regularly. Yes, good morning. Hello, chat. So, one thing I was told too from watching different people online who were talking about video editing is that one of the things that I do, you guys know, I always close out usually with be good to each other and never stop dreaming. That's my thing. I firmly believe that. But that's kind of like people's subconscious notification that, oh, he's done. He's out. So I know that's 30 minutes long too. Now, the end of that clip, I do say that because that was the end of the stream. But instead of it ending, I have it fade and then I pop up with this and then to let people know. Because when I write in description, if they take the time to read it, describing it, these are from 2 different streams. So I wanted to show, hey, this is the next time I was streaming. This is the next time I was showcasing these bases. It also fades in so you don't lose that. Or if people decide 30 minutes is enough for them, it does have a nice little ending. Now, going with that, if I go to the very end of this whole clip and everything, again, with that same mentality, instead of like one thing they always say is that the programs, and this may have changed, but the programs want you to, like YouTube, Facebook, they want you to have people watch it all the way through to the very end. And it tells the AI, whatever, if that's still the case, that people are enjoying what you're doing, not to end your video. So when I say be good to each other and never stop dreaming, that's usually when people dip. They may not even get to the end, and was not my intention to have you go away, not to see this last bit of the ending title screen right here, but to have it. So I decided in this one to not allow myself to say that at the end, but also not have a part of the footage which feels like it comes to an end. So let's play, I'm gonna play the last bit of this to kind of give you guys the example of that. But that thing, get me off this planet. Deal with that later. All right. So, you see how I said, all right, so it's kind of an indication of an end. It fades out. So it doesn't come to a abrupt end. And, it kind of hopefully gets people, okay, I didn't end the feed. I didn't end the stream. I didn't end the video. I just had you be able to go right to the end of the title. And then on YouTube, it'll have this little card that will pop up, and hopefully people who see that card, or I will probably put it a couple seconds or a few more seconds before it gets to the ending titles card, that they will click on that and go to whatever playlist I'm trying to get them to do. Now for No Man's Sky, it's games. So I have on my YouTube, because I have art, I have audio narrations, I have games, I have comedy, whatever, which is probably for most of the system too much. But if I have someone watching this and they're taking the time to watch through this game, I'm not going to send them to an art video. I'm not going to send them to a comedy video. I'm not going to send them to something that they're not watching. I'm going to assume that the reason why they are watching this type of content is because they want to watch games. They may be a No Man's Sky person, or they may not know more about it. So I'm going to hopefully send them to my No Man's Sky playlist. Well, they'll click on that and they'll get even more videos that they hopefully will enjoy. So these are kind of things that you have to keep in mind. If this was an art video, I would send them to the other art streams or to the Let's Draw videos, at least hopefully. And you can't always guarantee on that, because by the time that most people get to this ending screen, they're already gone. They've already flipped through it. Even if they've been kind enough to, or enjoyed it, to enjoy over an hour worth of footage, that they're usually I'm done about that time. Because most of the time, let's face it, I think a lot of people just watch their stuff at work or when they are just sitting around or whatever. So if they've taken the time to watch that much of your video, they might just go on, especially if they've already given you an hour of their time. So that's another thing I've been talking to streamers and other cohorts and stuff about lately. And a few artists and stuff where they were talking about people get really frustrated. Rephrase. The artists themselves get frustrated that people do not watch all of their content. There are so many factors that go within that is the reason why. you also have to remember that if you're sitting here watching a video and it's not a short or 3 minutes long clip on TikTok or whatever, or even 30 seconds, and even that, I mean, I have some clips that are only like a minute that I put on TikTok that hasn't got that many views. So sometimes it's not about the length. Sometimes it still is about the content, that you're putting out there. Is it interesting? Is it funny? Again, you really never know. You just keep putting it out there and doing the best you can. But going back to what I was learning about these artists, like, look, you can't expect everyone to watch an entire hour of your footage nowadays, or an hour of your content, unless they just really enjoy it. Or if they watch 30 minutes of it and they come back and watch the rest of it later, that's still good too. Or when I'm doing art videos and I'm talking about things, I know I still have artists. Sometimes they're watching that and they go, I don't need to know all that. Even I do it. And I fast forward. So if they're watching or getting anything out of your content at all, to me, that is a win. The ideal is they watch it all the way through and stuff. But I think there's a lot of other factors that come with that. The quality, what you're using, what you're showcasing. Do you have a fan following? Blah, blah, blah. I could go on and on and on. But none of that really matters, is that you still got to do the best you can do and keep that in mind. Like lately, too, like I've been doing it here on Facebook. I've been doing it on YouTube and TikTok. TikTok, I wouldn't even dare put on a long-term comment. I put on audio narration from one of the original Tales from the Omniverse. Probably about, I'd say it's probably 2 or 3 minutes, right? And that's audio only with a little video, sound effects and stuff. And I put that up and I sliced it down from a very, 13 minute, I think it was 13 or 14 minutes originally. And I put it up. And I've had, I think, 11 views on that. Is it because it's audio? Is it because it's too long? And I noticed some of the other content, especially games or whatever, because that's what people are expecting. But even some of the other comedy stuff, the shorter it is, the more it gets watched. So again, is it my content that's causing that? Is it society? Because different content creators and stuff that put out do different types of things. Some of them, like when I started out, I used to have people would listen through all my audio narrations, the originals that did not have all the sound effects and all this wonderful stuff that I put in later, or at least I hope I did. They are. Now I don't have people even listening to that. They don't listen to all the way through sometimes. But or the other biggest problem, as I was talking to some people today recently, is the fact that they're not even getting notifications. I got people that are acquaintances or people I've known or here and there that ask me, and I got asked again today, are you still doing your art? Well, do you not get the notifications when I do that? No. And that's what's interesting too, because you can't guarantee that you ever, I mean, you guys have probably experienced this on Facebook too, where you'll get a whole bunch of ads or a whole bunch of whatever, and you're not even getting the things you really want to see sometimes or feel like you want to see. Like, I don't get notifications from family about anything, but I get plenty of ads for everything else. So I know too that people miss things. Like right now too, I have a few things on Facebook that people have found later. They're commenting and stuff 2 or 3 weeks after I've already posted it. And some of that's just part of it. So that's when the algorithm or whatever finally decided to show it to someone. So you got to keep that factors in mind too, when you're doing things. But again, like I said, a lot of these things, these are the things I've been wanting to talk about. I want to share with my followers across all my media and stuff, and kind of give you guys insight more of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and hopefully hearing what you're enjoying and what you're not. Let's see. Now what I was doing the last bit of this, I know I'm going backwards, and normally I don't show this stuff. I used to be really, really uncomfortable about showing unfinished work too, especially when I wasn't able to talk over it and not to be able to tell you why, not just show you clips. But I have a few other things that I was going to show. Let me see if I can pop that in to give you guys an example too, like how I do things when I go to stream. I probably will be able to do it through here. Oh wow, I got so many screens open. I got like Photoshop running in the background. I got Facebook online. I got OBS. So many things just to try to talk to somebody. Oh, let's see. We're gonna go into the Legacy 717 studio files. Studio Insights is the one I think I put it under. What is this? Nope, we don't want that. No. Too many things. Is it in here? Here we go. I'm gonna pop it in VideoPad so you guys can see it. So one of the things I do too to get myself fired up, and also to kind of get the anxiety out of me, is that let me make this a little bit bigger, make sure we're still going. Yeah, you guys may not be able to see it well because it's kind of small. Let's see if I can make that bigger. Oh, we can go to full screen. So this is kind of like my warm up. It just said on the chat, even though it's a little the caption, Sammy thanks. Wow, it really doesn't understand Southern or speech impediments. All right, anyone want to play this real quick? I think it's like 20 seconds or something. Yeah, we're drawing, and we're liking it, and we're doing it, and we're drawing, and we're liking it, and we're doing it. Oh yeah, break it down now. So this piece I've been working on that I'll be showcasing tonight is blah 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 and such and blah 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 and more blah 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 blah. So what that is all about is before I started streaming, what was that Sunday? I don't remember. It's all rolling together at this point. But I do audio test. I do make sure the music's coming through, make sure that my voice is right. There's a lot of steps to go in there. And, you know, when you're doing audio, talking to the mic per se, I'm like, sometimes my mind goes blank and I don't know what I'm going to say. So I'm just like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And I try to get really high and I try to get really low, you know, to try to see if the mic is detecting it, is it picking it up, etc., etc., etc. And I go blah, 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 because I don't have anything I know how I'm going to say just yet. So, but I needed something to resonate, you know, and to move around and stuff on the camera. So I know if the camera's picking me up, and all that too. So these are little things that I do. I don't know if you do editing or streaming, if that's something that you do per se, but that does give y'all an example that I was going to share and be like, yeah, I'm, you know, pretty goofy too when I'm just getting ready. Anyway, so with this thing too, with this, oh, I'm actually highlighting. So here's another, like, okay, I'll give y'all an effect thing I did here. Like I had this little critter. Problem is too, when you don't zoom in, sometimes it's hard to tell. Like if you see this is getting bigger, so the more I zoom in, the more frames it's going to show me of where I'm at. So I had this little critter moment, so I tried to add a little bit to it. So I'm going to play it and let you guys tell me what you think. This was, oh yeah, I love this little thing. I got this pretty quick silver a long time ago. This little critter just jumping up and down. He's like, yeah. He's so cute and adorable. But so I had the little la 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 and the little sparkle effects and all that, just trying to add something more for the viewer. I don't know if it always works. Sometimes it's just my silly humor. Don't know if that always resonates or not. But that's what I've been doing with this whole hour and 20 minutes long bass thing, because a lot of it is really heavy. Like if you listen, it's like I'm randomly being used. And I did love the fact too that there's starships that will come down every once in a while and land, and you can talk to them. So it does kind of get that feel like it's a working clip. What I would love though is that if they had people walking through. So like I said, it's a lot of describing what I'm seeing, my thought process and stuff on that. So to me, that's a little heavy. And again, I may have people who will watch this and go through it and may not enjoy it. They may be like, I don't really care. He's just talking about some silly bases he's making. That's okay. because I have people who requested it to see it, and hopefully they will enjoy it. So, but again, it's like you have to think about all these factors of stuff in my mind of when you're making videos, content, showing things off, and everything. So, but also to break it down, you guys, I also have all these audio files here too, where I have made stuff to like, let's see what this one is. Meow. Where I was originally planning to, where I was originally planning to, because one of the biggest problems I have with some of the gaming stuff, especially when there's a lot of language sometimes in it, it takes me forever to get that stuff edited out, to silence and stuff. So one of my suggestions by a core horror of mine, Mr. Puma, and a few others, is to make some sound effects to go over that. That hasn't worked out really well yet. I still seem to have to silence it, cut it, or whatever. And I know if you get on TikTok or some other thing, it is, people are hear that stuff all the time. And it's not like it's like it's not like it's a 1980s movie where it's every 5 seconds. But there is, and it is natural. People do swear. I slip up sometimes too, Lord. But I do know that YouTube and Facebook and some of my audience may not appreciate all that. They may not want to hear all that, or they know it happens, but that's not what they came for. So to make myself for a general audience, in a sense, or, you know, not like maybe PG or PG-13 versus just G, I have to take the time to cut all that stuff out. That's another reason why I didn't show those clips, because I didn't want to risk that stuff coming out and people, some flag on Facebook going crazy. So, but like I said, I even have like the old censor beat. I'm not going to play that because it is crazy. Yeah, and if you guys, since you guys have been with me, this is a like sound from when Dexter was scratching at my door in the old studio. So that's a sound from a video I took a long time ago. I've reused that sound in a couple of things, where there was a comedy video that he did that, but it was so low you could barely hear it. So I took that sound effect and I put it on top of that to allow people to, so I could use it, you know, and I've snuck it in at other places sometimes too, and who knows. You know, there's also like these that I've made. Meow. You know, all these little crazy little sound effects, you know. Quack. This was, like I said, for mostly to cover things up, you know, but it didn't always work out. Like I said, I'm still working and messing around with that, but I save these in VideoPad in case I come across it, just like all these text files that you guys are seeing here for all this stuff, so I don't have to retype it. And there were still a few things in here I had to retype out or put in because I didn't have that made. The reason why I make them in Photoshop too is because it's easier to resize them than typing it all out and doing the process with it and everything sometimes. Of course, I got my indie screens, and that's another thing. I've been looking at my indie screens, and I noticed the only thing I have is either Facebook and YouTube, or Instagram and Facebook. So I'm going to have to update these. I'm going to have to take the time and get all the little symbols together of all the things and make it a little bit more modern on that, because these are old and I do need to, I mean, this is the second version because the first versions were pretty crazy. Like I said, you learn as you go. Plus I got this, you know, where I made this like at the beginning of my video here after we get past the Legacy theme song, and eventually I'm hoping to get a 3D thing going here to make this animated instead of just updated. They've been trying to work out. So I normally don't put that in my art streams. I mean, I'm sorry, in my game streams. But I've been sneaking in here just in case someone comes by this that doesn't know who I am. And there was something I got recently too, and about being a professional artistic dreamer. And they were like, when are you going to stop dreaming? And I said to them, I don't think you understand what exactly that means. And when you figure it out, let me know. So, because yes, I'm a dreamer, but I'm also a working dreamer. I am somebody actually taking the time to work, and I'm working towards it. I'm not just dreaming. Because I had a little ad for somebody that popped up, stop dreaming and do this. I'm also trying to get people to do things. But again, like I said, there's my star background for videos and stuff. I keep a lot of this stuff on file. And this one, since this is my template, Gaming with Legacy 717 template, I have certain things in here where on the art ones, I have certain things for that. And whatnot, you know, to put all that together. But you guys also notice too, for over a minute here, let's see, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. It isn't until almost 7 minutes in that you get the first little font thing that pops up. Now, I don't know if I should have left it like that, but it seemed to be appropriate to kind of wait for that. I don't know. Like I said, it's one of those things. Is it a creative thing? You know, how do you do it? You know, how do you make it? Still not seeing a chat. I don't know if anybody's said anything or not. My apologies. I'm used to looking down. I'm trying to get in a better habit of checking that stuff out. But again, it's just, this is kind of the process of trying to figure out things and put it all together. Like, okay, here's another thing that was driving me crazy. Okay, so I had this scene right here through the ceiling. So I had that I have questions, and I had it originally set up like right there where it just popped up. And a lot of these fonts were that way. They just kind of popped up. But I'm trying to give it, like I said, trying to do a little bit more. So I went into the, let me zoom in, you have to hit FX, and you see there's this keyframe animation thing. So you choose your stuff. This is my positions and stuff, the scale, making it smaller, and I had to go in here to rotate it and make a keyframe right here. So I had to do the rotate it there because this is the rotating thing. Choose a keyframe there and to make it go back. And it's pretty quick. It may be a little bit too quick because right here I can watch that right here with no sound, and I just see that. So, but I think it's a nice little kind of touch because there's so many of these sometimes too that you don't want it to just, to me, you don't want it just to pop up. Now, if you notice too, like when you zoom in, it takes a little longer to go through the frames. Let's see if I got another good example. So, like this right here, I finally figured out how to mask the. This one has a mask over it, where I put a creative mask that's got a rectangle, so I could diffuse it. So he's like, "Raw." Let's play that real quick. So you see it's like a little diffuse, and he's raw. And if you hear me talking here, like I get rid of this stuff every time, and it's still. So it wasn't really need to be in your face type thing, because one of the ones I used later is this wah, you know, at the end, where I'll shake it or whatever that I made. Even that one right there, that one I decided, as I was saying earlier, not to move that because I was like trying to help people's eyes there. I know I've been going on for a bit. Well, if I can find something. We already seen that. Try to find one. Yeah, here's another one of these breaking the fourth wall type thing. And there's been some really cool things, and then like I said in the last stream, there's been a lot of the same things, and it's like, nah. And you know, you kind of get disappointed, but every once in a while, there's a few things that you're finding, you're like, well, that was really cool. So, man, it is real loaded slow tonight. So, but you know, what can you do about that? I mean, it is a huge random generated program. So, eventually, after a while, you can only add so much. But I still think it's impressive what they've been managed to. Since the game was loading so slow when I was actually doing it, I was like, well, I might as well talk. I might as well talk a little bit of stuff. And luckily, so when I went back and I was watching this, I'm like, well, is anyone really going to listen to that? Do I need to add some things? Can I use that as a funny moment? It's like, man, it's taking forever. And again, I was trying to get the character to break that fourth wall. And if you notice, the timing to me, instead of having it immediately sad Corvex face, is kind of like a beat or a pause, as it were. And it's like, oh. Now, one of the things I was going to do on this one, I think, and we're going to see if this actually works. So I'm going to make a mask over this right here. Oh, I don't want a gradient mask. Whoopsie. Yeah, we don't want a gradient mask. Another problem with these effects, I'm glad that they put a lot more in. But my old laptop did not like to do this in real time at all. I would be here forever just to make the bloody fonts to shake or whatever. Oh, it used to take forever to do things. But you know, you do what you adapt, you do what you can. So I think if I take a mask here and then I add, you see, this has like snow, petals, all this. I was thinking about maybe adding some raindrops. And I'm hoping it's going to do only in that masked area. But it doesn't look like you can really see it. So I'm going to up the intensity on it. Yeah. All right, let's up that intensity all the way to 100%. It might not work because of the coloring in the background, because of everything. I'm going to show mask. Okay. So it is masking inside. So what I was trying to do is like he's crying, you know, type thing, but it doesn't look like that's going to show up well, unfortunately. I'm watching the animation part over and over. Yeah, see, I don't even see it, so that's a little disappointing. Now, the one thing I can do is take out this mask, and we'll see what happens when we just play it without the mask. No, see, it's not going to work. So sometimes too, some things you would love to do that you can't. And I'm trying to control Z. All right. So let's see what other effect that I might be able to use. Might not be necessary though. But again, like I said, I've been trying to add, I always like to add a little bit. Let's see, what's Nocturnal do? Let's take a look at that. See, it gets blunt. That doesn't do nothing. And this is also too, I'm just like, depending on your background, what's going on, there's ways of doing stuff. But sometimes this is kind of how I work sometimes too, where I'm just clicking on it and see, oh, how's this gonna look? I've already used the pixie dust and stuff. Raindrops. Nah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use anything on this. So we go with negative, but I don't think that's gonna do what I see. It's just like gets rid of the blue and the white, and yeah, that's not even worth it. Ooh, I wonder if night vision would work. Well, makes it really hard to read considering that green in the background. So, but just trying to add something to this. Yeah, I may come back and mess with that some more. Ooh, aqua. Let's see what aqua does. Nothing. It does nothing. Nothing. All these filter effects. Might not be able to do anything because of this teleportation thing, I think. Huh. I'll have to come back to that. So, like, one thing to give you guys a different example of what I was talking about, adding like another effect. Like one of the things I was doing earlier on, once I find it, no. When I first came in, okay, let me zoom in. Make sure. I think, yeah, this is one where I took the fire effect to kind of make it work. I'll just play it. It should come off. There it is. Warning, spontaneous fires. And it happens. It burns the base. So I thought that came out. I'm going to go ahead and make it full screen just in case you guys didn't see it. I thought that was pretty cool. It's like he's thinking and he's burning
Come on.
stuff. There it is. Warning, spontaneous fires. And it happens. It burns the base. Like, I've been in the base in here. So I thought that was neat where he was like the character thinking, and then the fire, like, like I'm remembering that moment, or fires, you know, it's pretty much on how the audience would take that. So, but that's what I was saying. That's what I've been playing around with a lot, trying to add these little things that probably don't matter as much, or maybe they matter a lot. So, but this is, again, this is part of the creative process. This is an art form. Just like I'll see, give y'all a sneak peek, like you know, at the end here. So on how you can take something, even when you're streaming, and random things happen. This is one of the cool things sometimes. So this was a base I was talking about, and I'll share this with you guys. This, actually, okay, let me back it up. I'm gonna make it full screen again so you guys can see the whole thing. So real quick, I was talking about this base on this planet that's really, really messed up and has this stuff on it. So, and this happened in real time. And I love the fact that I was able to record it and add the things that I've added to it. Oh, lovely. Of course, the one day I want you to show up, you ain't gonna show up, because it'll shake the whole place when it does. But the little message bot out here, I left this in case anybody came by. Go over here, see if it goes off. Oh, it's Streamland. Yeah, we're inside. Oh, see? There he is. Oh, scan. Ah, see? Every time. Ah! That's what they do. Now you imagine. You just chilling. So, I'm already and I added that effect, which you guys may have seen before at the end, as a hand drawn that I did years ago for an art piece that I even tossed, in a sense, because I want to go back and redo it. But I used that one asset of it that I loved, that I did by hand, and it's been great for stuff like this. You guys have probably seen it on a few of the clips and stuff, and I will be probably drawing and doing more of those because it's been interesting, depending on the feedback too. Like, I hope people are enjoying seeing this stuff. But again, I've been going on for a little while, so I don't want to take up too much of your time today, but I did want to share with you guys my processes and stuff, and what I'm working on, how I'm going, because I always want people to know that even if you don't hear from me, trust me, I am working. I am always working. And again, I want to hear back from you guys. I want to hear what you think. What are you guys enjoying? As the art stuff too, as I mentioned earlier in the stream, let me know. What would you guys do? Like, I had someone recently say to me that they want to see me, instead of just seeing a sketch or seeing me draw or ink over something, that they want to see me draw from the beginning on a blank piece of paper, as it were, or a blank canvas, and just see me draw that, not ink it, not color it or whatever. So I may be doing that this Wednesday, because I don't know how much time I'm gonna have available to work on that No Man's Sky. But if that's something that people would prefer to see, maybe that would be something. So I'm gonna experiment with that, possibly, more than likely, unless something else comes up, and mess around with that, and hopefully that's another, we'll see how that goes and see what you guys like, per se. And then Friday will be game night again. I got some plans for that. Hoping that we're going to be able to showcase Wizard 101, as I've been talking about. We will see. Maybe end up doing some more No Man's Sky or some other things. Now, real quick too, I had someone ask me recently about the Omniverse stuff, the Legacy stuff. When is that coming? It is coming. It is working in the background right now. As I've been building back up, there's a few things I want to get out first, and then before I take on that monster And then there will be a lot of that stuff coming because I'm going to be drawing a lot of those characters. I'm going to be talking about all that stuff somewhere probably in November is what I'm thinking, just until we get a little bit more stuff settled up and they get built back up a little bit more. But again, if you want to see that stuff instead, or someone said, I want to know more about this, let me know in the comments. Send me a message at talktomelegacy717@gmail.com. And as always, my friends, be good to each other and never stop dreaming. Cheers.